Good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome out high above Billy Allgood Field here on the campus of Louisiana Christian University. This is our first ever live shot from the drone of the pregame, and delighted to have you here. Good afternoon, folks. I am Doug Gann with 446 Sports, delighted to bring you the 2025 Louisiana Baseball Coaches Association All-Star Game here from the campus of Louisiana Christian University in Pineville, Louisiana, right in the heart of central Louisiana. There you get a beautiful look around Billy Allgood Field here and the campus of it, brought to you by Vector Skies. That's who it is. That's our new drone sponsor, Vector Skies. We appreciate the work that they do, and they'll appreciate it more when I learn what their name is, so that helps out there. You get just a one-of-a-kind look with our sports coverage, and delighted that we can bring that to you. I know those fancy folks have the blimp, and it can just hover and stay there, but they can't turn near like we do. Going to be an exciting afternoon for you. The boys of summer are the final ones on tap in this one, East versus West, and should be a great one without a doubt. The one thing you're guaranteed to see is a lot of really good baseball. These guys are all-stars. They're the best of the best. A lot of state champions, a lot of all-state players, certainly a lot of all-district players, a lot of college signees, and those looking to get into college, maybe one last chance. And, boy, that's real interesting of Chuck there. He's going to fly right into where we are here and say hi, and it's got Coach just a little bit concerned over there, but we'll wave to the camera up there and let him know. See, he gives it a good wave. That is our Vector Skies presentation to you. High atop, you see Chuck Perkins. I am Doug Gann, bringing you all of the action. So we have a 6:30 start today. We're set for 7 o'clock. We will go at 6:30 today and 1 o'clock tomorrow, and we're delighted that you could be in here with you. There's Chuck flying. He is a proud owner of Vector Skies, and so we're in the pavilion area out here along the first baseline, where man, just has turned into a beautiful evening. Just a couple of clouds in the sky as Vector Skies gets on out of here. We appreciate the work that they do. Look, your ultimate sports streaming is found right here at 446 Sports. They're going to get into the starting lineups for you, the roster announcement, the national anthem, and all of those things. But we just wanted to invite you out here. So we're going to let you take a minute and maybe get a look around the campus and around the baseball field, at least, on there. And we'll be back for the start of the pregame festivities here in just a moment. But enjoy a look around Louisiana Christian University.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
We've all seen how quickly things can change. Everything from the world around us to the cost of things we use on a daily basis. That's why we all need someone in our corner to keep our family protected while still watching out for our pocketbook. I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. There's no better time than now to complete an insurance review to make sure you're properly covered and not paying too much. Whether it's in our office, at your home, or your place of business, let us help you find peace of mind. If you're in need of your insurance checkup, whether auto, home, or life, talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
Central Louisiana. This is your home for live sports action. From the field to the court, 446 Sports delivers the games you love with expert commentary and passionate coverage. Cheer for your favorite athletes and relive the moments that define our community spirit. Our sponsors keep us in the game. Together, we bring you the best in local sports coverage. Join the 446 Sports family today. Watch, cheer, celebrate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. 446 Sports, where Central Louisiana comes to play.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, welcome to Louisiana Christian University Pineville Field. For tonight's matchup of the West All-Stars against the East All-Stars. Tonight's contest will be a 9-inning baseball game. Tomorrow will be a 1 o'clock first pitch for the second game of the All-Stars. We're going to start off by announcing the team and congratulating the student athletes for making the All-Stars and coming out and playing this weekend here on the field. We're going to start with the West All-Star team who will serve as the visiting team for tonight. Once your name is called, please line up on the third base line. First All-Star is pitcher Thomas Allen from Benton High School, who will be attending University of Louisiana Monroe. Next is pitcher Charles Phillips from Bard High School, who will be attending McNeese State. Next pitcher is Jack Carlisle from Northwood High School, who will be attending Bossier Parish Community College. Next pitcher is Cole Flanagan from Sam Houston High School, who will be attending the University of Louisiana Lafayette. Next pitcher is Slade Choznot from Sulphur High School, who is currently unsigned. Next pitcher is Dayton Hicks from Sulphur High School, who will be attending LSU unit. Next is catcher Connor Walker from Sam Houston High School, who will be attending McNeese State. Next is catcher Brent Batto from Sterling Catholic. Next is first baseman Easton Sanders from Glenbrook High School, who will be attending Louisiana Tech. Next is first baseman Adam Gillett from Matthews Central High School, who will be attending Louisiana Tech. Next is second baseman Luke Brooks from South Beauregard High School, who will be attending University of Arkansas at Rich Mountain. Next is second baseman Cash Martin from Westlake High School, who will be attending Bossier Parish Community College. Next is shortstop Jackson Beto from Sulphur High School, who is not signed. Next is shortstop Jackson Waller from Glenbrook High School, who will be attending Nunez Community College. Next is third baseman Ryan Berard from Sterling Catholic High School, who will be attending LSU Unit. Next is third baseman Seth Leje from ERAF High School, who will be attending Louisiana State University of Alexandria. Next is outfielder Christian Turner from Houghton High School, who will be attending the University of Arkansas. Next is outfielder Jacob Froelich from St. Thomas More High School, who will be attending the LSU Unit. Next is outfielder Dane Igus from Welsh High School, who is not signed. Next is outfielder Cade Wilkerson from St. Thomas More, who will be attending Chipola Community College. Next is outfielder Parker Alexander from Hornbeck High School, who is currently unsigned. Next is designated hitter Randy Mason Jr. from North DeSoto High School, who will be attending Coastal Alabama North Community College. Next is designated hitter Lane Pence from Catholic in New Iberia, who will be attending LSU Unit. The coordinators of the West All-Stars are Blake Reed, assistant coaches Brooke Batto and Tony Sanders, and head coach is Jeremy DeVille. Please give a round of applause to the West All-Star team. This is how the West All-Stars will start it. Jackson Beto will be playing shortstop. Next will be Christian Turner playing center field. Easton Sanders playing first base. Randy Mason playing designated hitter. Jacob Froelich playing right field. Connor Walker behind the plate. Seth Leje at third base. Cash Martin at second base. Cade Wilkerson in left field. And George Miller will start him on the ball. One more round of applause for the West All-Stars. Moving to the East All-Star team, please line up on the first base line once the name is called. First is pitcher Adam Brodnack from Buckeye High School, who will be attending University of Louisiana at Monroe. Next is pitcher Sam Mitchell from Parkview Baptist, who will be attending the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Next is Bryce Wilson from Chalmette High School, who will be attending the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Next is pitcher Will Andre from Holy Cross High School, who will be attending Nunez Community College. Next is pitcher Jordan Brady from Washita High School, who will be attending LSU Unit. Next is pitcher Cole Navarro from Brother Martin, who will be attending University of New Orleans. Next is Aiden Melna from St. Fred's High School, who will be attending Hines Community College. Next is catcher Gavin Tanks from Covington High School, who will be attending Southeastern Louisiana University. Next is Cooper Smith from Live Oak High School, who will be attending Louisiana Tech University. Next is first baseman Cameron Caney from St. Paul, who is not signed. Next is first baseman Tanner Duff from Oak Grove High School, who is currently not signed. Next is second baseman Brock Davis from Live Oak High School, who will be attending Northwestern State University. Next is second baseman Brady Clement from South Terrebonne High School, who will be attending Belhaven University. Next is shortstop Kenyon Hughes from St. Augustine High School. He'll be attending Southern University. Next is shortstop Blaze Rodriguez from Coach John Hall High School. He'll be attending Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Next is Cam Martin from West Washita, who is currently unsigned. Next is third baseman Bryce Robertson from St. Augustine High School, who is currently unsigned. Next is outfielder Ryan Garr from Brother Martin High School, who will be attending Arizona State University. Next is outfielder Travis Adams from Sterlington High School, who will be attending the University of Louisiana at Monroe. Next is outfielder Josh Lynn from Dunham High School, who will be attending the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Next is outfielder Mason LeBlanc from Ascension Christian, who will be attending Baton Rouge Community College. Next is outfielder Clayton Kimball from Central Private High School, who will be attending Coastal Alabama South Community College. Next is outfielder Bryce Dare from Weston High School, who will be attending Louisiana Christian University. Next is designated hitter Zoel Gamer from Gina High School, who will be attending East Texas Baptist University. Next is designated hitter Tristan Roberts from Alexandria Country Day High School, who is currently unsigned. The East All-Star team is coordinated by Brad Bass, assisted by Ty Robinson and Steven Capallo, and head coach is Chris Meyer. Please give the East All-Stars a round of applause. This is how the East All-Stars starting lineup will start. Josh Lynn, Ryan Dara, Cooper Smith, Tanner Duff, Gavin Tanks, Blaze Rodriguez, Brock Davis, Bryce Zier, Bryce Robinson, Zoel Gamer, and Cole Navarro will be on the bump. Now, ladies and gentlemen, ask you to please rise and lead the chapel of prayer and national anthem. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this day and thank you for your many blessings, Lord. I just want to thank you for these student athletes and coaches and umpires who came out today and are selected as all-stars. Thank you for blessing their talent and allowing them to be here and travel safely, along with all the fans and parents and coaches as well. Lord, if you're safe, keep us safe and free of injury. Let us have fun and let us remember all the praise, honor, and glory with you, Lord. In your prayer. Amen.
And we are back, getting ready for action here from Billy Allgood Field on the campus of Louisiana Christian University. Again, I am Doug Gann with 446 Sports. Delighted to have you in for this one. Should be a lot of fun this afternoon. Ready to go. Potent lineups without a doubt. As you heard, all of the lineups being announced. East and West ready to go in this one, and well, you couldn't ask for a nicer day out here by any means. They'll go and exchange lineups, and don't know if they're going to flip for this one, but this is more of just a quick visit. You see the managers of this one getting ready.
Doug, a beautiful day to be out here at the ballpark.
Yeah, it definitely is.
My voice has got a little bit of the wind from flying that drone, a little bit of wind noise in it.
Oh, I thought it was just because you're old and out of shape.
Yeah, that's probably part.
That's the other side of it.
But one thing it's not that's out of shape is the KALB First Alert Storm Weather.
Tell us about it. Yeah, First Alert weather study. It should be a nice one.
Yes, it is. 89 degrees. Feels like it's 96. A little bit warmer than it actually is. Dew point at 70 degrees. Humidity 55%. Wind southeast at 6 miles an hour. So not a lot of winds, but that home run derby earlier, we saw some balls hit out regardless. And sunset is set at 8:04.
Look, we saw Cole Flanagan from Sam Houston just flat crush the ball. He wins the home run derby, and I think it was over early on in this one.
Yeah, after about his third one, it was like,
yeah, he hit 3 in a row in the first round.
crusher.
West All-Stars will be the visiting team in this one. And we're underway. First pitch is in there for strike one, and it is across at 6:46. So was scheduled for 6:30, or scheduled for 7 o'clock. That one ground over to second base, going to be picked up and gathered in there as they work it around here in the first out. And we're all of this set up and all this time, and now they get up and get going. And the first out is recorded. That is going to bring up out of Houghton, Christian Turner. Christian Turner will stride in. Turner going to Arkansas.
Nice. A lefty here.
Yeah, you got to watch for these. Now that one is fouled back out and near that Louisiana Athletic Club.
Glad my drone wasn't flying over that area.
Yeah, no kidding. Trying to get you settled in. That sun playing tricks as it starts to set with where we're at. Thankfully in the shade, and that one is worked inside. Good looking work there.
0-2 now.
Fouled off of the batter, and that will get him. See what Chuck is doing. Look like we may have lost that camera again. We'll have to keep an eye on that one or plug it in directly. I'm not sure. We'll look at that in between innings. Rocks back and fires this one, and that is a good base hit. That's going to be the first base hit of the game from Houghton's Christian Turner. Easton Sanders out of Glenbrook, the Apaches. He's off to Louisiana Tech, so won't be going too far. He'll be joined there out of Natchitoches Central's Adam Gullett will be there also. Well, it was a good move near. They're going to have that at second base. Covered up there. Over to first and in time. And a pitcher's best friend ends things there. So just the one base hit. No runs, no errors, and nobody left on through a half inning. East coming up to bat. We'll be right back right after this.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
During National Cataract Awareness Month, Wallace Eye Associates is joining the American Academy of Ophthalmology to help prevent blindness by offering complimentary cataract screenings. If you're over 65 and noticing unusual changes in your vision, our free screenings can help determine if you have cataracts. Call us today to schedule your complimentary cataract screening. When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
Just about saw the final warm-up of Jairus Miller out of Barb. Going to stay there locally and play for McNeese. You get a good look at him. Josh Lim out of Dunham will stride in. We'll try. We're having to listen in to what the announcers tell us, but that first one from Miller in there for strike one. Good looking pitch again from Miller, and nothing in two quickly. The 0-2 fouled back and out of play. Good crowd settled in for this one. We saw that a little bit earlier.
Right, drone shot from Vector Skies.
That's right. See Coach DeProli there in the picture. Got to visit with him, and good looking pitch there from Miller, swung on and missed, and that will do it for the first batter here.
Now batting Ryan Darrah.
Darrah will stride in. Ryan Darrah out of Brother Martin. He is headed across the country. He's going to go to Arizona State. Sun Devils getting him one out of the Bayou State. And just getting settled in here. Swung on and missed. And I'm telling you, Miller filling up the strike zone in this one without a doubt. That one just up and out of there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 balls, 1 strike. Correction. West scoreless in the top of the first. East now hitting. That one left inside at 3 balls and a strike. And we switched something, I guess, Chuck. We just got away from the Oxoon.
No, well, if it happens again, I will.
Swung on and missed. Evens or fills things up. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, we welcome all of you around the state of Louisiana and wherever you are. 446 Sports presents high school baseball. Miller rocks back, throws that one, and it bounces over that third base dugout and out into the trees.
Maybe it was wanting to get a workout.
All right, there you go. Miller now will send this one in, up and out of the zone, and issues the walk there.
Now batting Cooper Smith.
I wish he'd turn his mic up just a little bit.
Just a tad is all it would take. And so they don't give us the numbers on there, just that one inside turned off of that.
Caught him.
They're going to say that it hit him, and so that'll put runners at first and second. That was Live Oak's Brock Davis, or it could have been Cooper Smith. It's probably Cooper Smith. I think he's the catcher. They'll get a runner for him, and they will. So yeah, those of you. Tanner Duff out of Oak Grove. He was a participant in the home run derby. A little bit of trouble here early on in this one after a walk and a hit batter. That one in there for strike one. just settling himself down is Miller. The East a base hit away from scratching something across here in the bottom of the first. Swung at a bad one there down on the turf. Nobody going anywhere on that one. Is a good job of blocking it up behind the dish. That one again, just out in front of it, hit it right down into the batter's box area, and it popped up and it hit. It hit Duff-Ball as well there. Again, you see a lineup littered with state champions, and these guys have got to be tired. That's going to go to Miller. Gave a look to third, but we'll come back over to first and in time. Good job at advancing the runners, and that's 2 down here in the bottom of the first.
Now batting, Gavin Panks.
Gavin Panks will get in there. Opportunity to get something going.
Seen several lefties here so far, Doug.
But a lot of them. And this ballpark, Chunk, is built for left-handed batters. Is that at Porch is only 315 down here. It's a little bit shorter than it is, but definitely shorter than 390 out to center field, where there's just a lot of depth out in center field. Get this opportunity to bring our man Robert in. A little bit of baseball. Miller rocks back, delivers this one, and that one is ground past the diving shortstop. 1 run is in, another one going to come around and score, and that is quickly 2 runs in this one. And just good piece of hitting, and that first base hit knocks a couple of them in, and the walk and the hit batter kind of got to him, and that's going to bring in Robert Anderson. Now Robert into our booth, not into the batter's box. Robert, you've watched a lot of baseball. That one is smoked, and it's going to be another base hit. Not a good jump with 2 outs. You'd like to be running a little bit more, but boy, that walk and that hit batsman has just led to a lot of trouble here for Miller.
How many times that walk come back and haunt you?
Look,
I mean,
and when you got a lineup just full of hitters, that's what you're going to find.
You're talking about the dimensions on the field, and you're exactly right. This field plays, you know, right, a left-handed batter favors these kids right here, and you could tell by at the home run derby hitting contest, a young kid from Sam Houston just was hitting bombs.
And this one is a predominantly left-handed hitting lineup too.
Right.
Miller just seems a little shaken, almost going to have to gather himself just a bit. Miller out of Barb.
A Glenn Cicchini product right here, guys.
Stays back on that, going to have it over at first. And that will retire the side, but not before a couple of base hits. 2 runs and 1 left on. We'll be back for the top of the second. Right after this, East leads it 2-0 when we come back.
We've all seen how quickly things can change. Everything from the world around us to the cost of things we use on a daily basis. That's why we all need someone in our corner to keep our family protected while still watching out for our pocketbook. I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. There's no better time than now to complete an insurance review to make sure you're properly covered and not paying too much. Whether it's in our office, at your home, or your place of business, let us help you find peace of mind. If you're in need of your insurance checkup, whether auto, home, or life, talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
State champion Rainey Mason will lead things off. If that name sounds familiar to you, it should. Rainey Mason Jr., son of the athletic director and basketball coach here.
And he was also part of that home run hitting contest as well.
Hit the first home run of the day.
That's right.
And, you know, we talked to that one lifted out into right field and is going to be a base hit gathered in there. So Mason, who is off to Coastal Alabama Community College. And I didn't talk to the athletic director. I didn't talk to the basketball coach. I just talked to Dad. And just beaming with pride over the work that his son does.
And Mama's beaming with pride over there, too, because she's watching the game on 446 as well.
There you have it.
Find us on YouTube or Facebook. YouTube's your best.
I found it on Facebook.
It's on Facebook. YouTube, I find, is the best option, best viewing the way it looks. But you also have it on Twitter and Boxcast, just in case.
Swung on and fouled back. Mason leads things off, and that evens the hits up at 2 apiece. But it was the walk and the hit by pitch from Miller that got the East on the board here in this one. Those of you that followed along, we had the LSCA All-Star Softball games last weekend. We are delighted to have our baseball brethren in here tonight in this one, as they'll play one at 7 tonight and 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Big fella up there in the left-handed box.
Right. You know, great venue here at Louisiana Christian, because, you know, a lot of these young kids, they're just getting over a state championship, you know, run last week. And then they were able to just, instead of driving all the way to New Orleans or Hammond or something like that, they can just meet here right here in the middle, and, you know, at this fine facility we have here.
Yeah, and that, you know, Coach Burns has hosted this for a number of years. And I know this is our 3rd time to do it here, and it's always been a great turnout and a great event.
Great atmosphere, because you know, everybody's so close to the field. And
they're on that college field as well.
Exactly.
So that's you go from Sulphur, which nobody plays down there. It's the rec park, but a nice one, nicest one as you'll find. And you know, it's their opportunity to get out onto a college campus. Most all of them have graduated already. I don't think anybody still has graduation pending, because the teachers, I guess, left today. So everybody putting on for the home school one last time. That pitch misses out of the zone.
I know in Rapides Parish today was the last day, and I think, you know, some of the schools are probably still having graduations, you know, down south. I just don't know what the you know, their schedules are down there.
These seniors have probably been out for a couple of weeks, though, and yeah, folks are ready for the summer, but one last opportunity. And a lot of the folks that you see on here are signed and are going, but there are 4 or 5 that are trying to, that have not signed with anyone, that are just trying to make a statement and get out on there one more time.
And what better way to, you know, leave their turf shoes here and, you know, let it go one more time.
That's right.
Let it go one more time.
Balmy evening, probably one of the most humid and hotter days of the year, and that's strange. Normally we played through some very hot times. That's a hit batsman. So we'll see how that goes. We had one in the first inning, and now we've got one here.
I didn't think it was so hot tonight. I thought it was pretty nice out here tonight.
A little bit of breeze that's blowing. Got a new runner that's coming in from Glenbrook.
That's one thing about when you get older, it's hard to see these numbers and see where these kids go to school.
Right. Well, and the problem, they don't have them numbered on here. I'm trying to zoom in there. Chuck, I don't know which one you're on, but waiting. Oops. There you go. You get a look at him. Well, that's Ereth's Seth Leger, I believe, is who that is. Those folks that are at home know who that is, and so we'll get through some of these kinks with it.
Seth is going right here to LSUA.
That's right.
LSUA commitment, signee.
First time they went down and played for the state championship. Well, we followed along a lot. There's a smash down in the left. That's going to score one. Mason firing around. No, he's going to get out. And now they're going to have. Nope, he dives back in. Boy, that could have been something, but a beautiful throw out in left field to come up and put an end to that. Cash Martin out of Westlake will stand in. He's headed to Bossier Parish Community College. I think Bipsy they call that, is that right?
Yep.
That one up and out of the zone. So these pitchers just a little bit out of the zone, and these batters trying to make them pay for it. Good looking pitch. It's in there for the strike to Leger. Good awareness there by Mason to get back into the base. Leger swings through that one.
Especially that, the cutoff. I mean, the key, is the cutoff. I mean, a lot of times these kids will airmail it, and these kids were able to take that extra base, but, hitting your cutoff, man, is so important.
It is, and so Leger is over at first base. That's out of Westlake Cash Martin, and we told you that from the start. So got lost looking at Leger there at first base. Martin through this one. Got an opportunity for two. Over to first and in time. The double play ends things. Did it both innings. 2 base hits in there and a hit batsman, but no runs. It's a race by the double play. 2-0. We head to the bottom of the second. East on top in this one. Be right back. So stay off of me. I'm going to try to go in on the batter, and then when you see me pull back out.
We are back here in the bottom of the second. There's a shot there. You're going to go foul?
It's like Ryan Dara that is in there from Brother Martin, and that's what we'll zoom in and try to take a look at, because the PA here is muffled down the line where we're at. Miller wanted that one, a little bit of a check swing, but nothing doing. Lefty rocks back and delivers this, and it's a big swing on that one. Just these guys trying to, on that left side, Robert, are trying to get the ball out of here because they know it's a short porch, but everybody's wanting the big swing here. That one is ground over first base. Good stab there. Got a foot race over there. Not going to be in time.
This is the kid from
that's the kid from Weston that's coming here to LCU.
That's correct.
That is Bryce Zaire.
Looked like we got a young kid coming up from St. Aug.
Bryce Robinson out of St. Aug will stand in from the right side. We'll see if Zaire, who will be here soon for Coach Mike Burns and the LCU Wildcats, who have had some pretty good seasons. Well, they drew a tough card this year, being in that conference with LSU Shreveport.
And who got the win today in the first round of the World Series? And matter of fact, Loyola of New Orleans is playing, as we speak. So we got two teams from Louisiana that are actually playing in the NAIA World Series now.
And that's tremendous. You got to believe the odds-on favorite is LSU Shreveport, and why not at 58-0 now?
58-0.
The record, I think, is 59.
I mean, not losing a game, guys, is impressive. And LCU not only faced them, 3 times during the year, they also faced them in the finals of the conference tournament.
That's a tough place to be, yeah. Your fate is playing them to get to the title.
And, the kids here played extremely well. They battled hard. They got, suffered a little adversity toward the middle of the year, but they came on strong at the end of the year and were able to get to the conference finals and to go to the regional tournament up in Kingston, Tennessee.
Yeah, and that was great to see that footage of them watching and seeing where they were going. Zoil Gamer there out of Gina is the local product out of Gina right up the road. Miller right into the wheelhouse, and that is going to be a base hit to left. Bobbled around just a little bit, but Zaire and Gamer will put the brakes on, and quickly runners at first and second for the East here in the bottom of the second.
Gina High School product. Gina does extremely well in football. They do extremely well in softball.
They ain't terrible in softball. That's right.
And then back in the days, their girls basketball team was that's who you emulated, Gina Lady Giants.
That one is up and away to Josh Lim, his second time to hit in this game. So that means they've hit around here in the just one out in the second. Not the start. That one's lifted high. Center field's going to camp out under that.
For 3.
They'll hold on there and nothing doing, heading to third base. Good job, catcher.
Now here's the Ryan Darrow from Brother Martin.
Right.
The Arizona State University signee.
So we got one last game here locally, and then let's out onto the West Coast-ish he goes, and that's just that's great to see these kids getting out all over the United States. I look up and down the lineup. You've got a lot of people staying here in Louisiana. Of course, Mason going to Coastal Alabama, but Arizona State's got one out of here. As I look around, most of these players, I see an Arkansas Rich Mountain that is there. The University of Arkansas is going to get Christian Turner out of Houghton. And so, you got a good-looking group. So Clayton Kimball of Central Private and Rainey Mason going off to Coastal Alabama.
And then, Louisiana Tech is well represented as, here as well. And a couple, the kid from Live Oak High School.
So the entire state of Louisiana doing well at recruiting these all-stars. Thought about a shot down here, but nothing doing. This, you said, was Dara, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, Brian Dara out of Brother Martin.
They play in the big Catholic League in New Orleans. Pretty good baseball,
that one
football.
Is fouled back near where Texas Roadhouse is in the house with those barbecue sliders, and that's a great setup that he has. He comes out and he sells these barbecue sliders, a bag of peanuts, and a free appetizer card for $5, and all the money goes. That was a base hit. Good play over at third. Going to come across the diamond. And boy, that is just a sweet way to end things. That will retire the side. So one base hit and 2 left on. We'll be back right after this. We hit top of the third when we come back. Cole Navarro out of Brother Martin on for his third inning of work. Bullpen starting to get busy right in front of us here.
Parkview Baptist, Live Oak.
Navarro has went through the lineup. A little bit of defense. This is his second trip through, giving up 3 base hits and has hit a batter. Got that double play to get out of the inning earlier.
Got a good pace, this pitcher does.
He does. You know,
You see a lot of these pitchers just like to get the ball back and go to work.
that's what I love about that time clock.
Yeah.
I love the time clock. You know, at first, a lot of these pitchers are trying to acclimate themselves, get adapted to it, and the hitters as well. But it just makes the game go so much quicker. You know, then they get in that rhythm too, and that's what they want, is a rhythm, instead of a kid that gets out there and just takes forever, you know, to get set up.
Well, and it cuts out a lot of the grandstanding by the hitters, getting back and unswitching the bat and gloves and all of this nonsense.
Oh, it does. You're exactly right. You know, there's a
swung through that one. It's going to drop, third strike. They'll come down to first with it in time.
There's an old saying, just see ball, hit ball. I mean, that's what we're here to do, is for them to get up there and swing the bat, and let's go.
All right, as the PA guy says, play ball.
Play ball. Let's go.
One down here, top of the third. East again with a 2-0 lead. You see that on our Wallace Eye Associates scoreboard. Ground ball over second base. Little hop throw over to first, and that will be out number 2.
That was a young kid that won the home run hitting contest from Sammy Houston.
Flanagan, Cole Flanagan.
Cole Flanagan put on a show, guys.
Top of the third with 2 outs.
Navarro rocks back and fires that one in there, misses low.
You know, we were talking about, you know, Cole Flanagan from Sam Houston. You know, Sam Houston, they got on a run that state tournament last week. They went to West Monroe, beat West Monroe, come back. They go to Barb the next week, then they beat Live Oak in the finals.
And great work put on by their baseball and softball team. One of a couple of teams that double dipped down in Sulphur this year. North DeSoto did the same thing. Baseball and softball championships.
Wow. And that is hard to do.
Indeed.
You know,
that one lifted way back.
Probably gonna be
giving
off
it
the
a
wall.
run and gonna fall and come up and get that one, and we'll get
and go to 3.
hustling around for a triple. It's gonna get down and in there, and shaken up just a little bit out in right field.
Now batting center fielder, Christian University.
Boy, you go out there and that warning track goes up, and that's a little bit of trouble. That looks like that's Zaire. That's out in right field, and they'll go to check on him. Coach Burns looking at him. Likes the effort out of the young man out of Weston, that's for sure. But that is a triple.
2-out triple at that.
Yeah.
2-out triple.
Thought the play was going to be a little closer at third, but they cut it, and just a good piece of work here. Navarro will try to pitch out of this and get his 3 innings unscathed. Robert getting used to the home plate microphone that's back there.
Exactly.
You just hear a lot of the ambiance.
Sounds like it's behind you, doesn't it?
It does. I thought
it's going to be a base hit that'll score the run.
Good piece of hitting right there going the other way.
Look, that's exactly what you look for out of a coach, is that 2-strike approach.
Shorten it up and let's go. You know, middle way. He pulls off on that. He dribbled it to first or second base,
That's right.
and he's out. You know, but he goes the other way. You know, he did that his first time up at bat as well. Hit the ball extremely hard.
Navarro gives up his first run in 2 2/3. That one fouled back into that parking area where people that get here late go, oh, wow, there's a parking spot left. Well, that's because a lot of foul balls right there. 30 years of doing sports, and one time a foul ball has found my windshield, and it was parked right out there because I had one of those extra spots that was left over.
Not me, guys.
Yep, down the line. That's correct. That one in there.
Fitness center for me.
For the strike, 0-2
I get your
here.
steps in that way too.
Oh, fitness center, guys.
Navarro shakes one off. Now he'll give a peek to the runner to the near side. Rocks back, runners off and going. They'll have a throw down, sliding in, not in time. And the stolen base is there. 1 ball and 2 strikes here. Navarro trying to get out of this. Gave up his first run. 5 base hits, 1 run for the West. Fouled. Actually, yeah, that's what I thought. Fouled it off of his foot. You see it 2-1 now. Top of the 3rd, we play. 1 run, 5 hits for the West. 2 runs, 4 hits for the East.
I just realized that I have my scoreboard wrong.
Do you?
I thought East would be home.
East is home.
I thought I had West home for some reason.
Okay.
I changed them. I'll flip it here in a minute. Correct my scoreboard on the screen. My apologies.
Swung on there and bounces off the fence. Oh, that fence down that left field side is so close. There's a lot more foul territory over here, but they cut this into just inside the pine trees and fit this baseball field wherever they could. And what a beautiful park it is here at Billy Allgood Field.
Beautiful ballpark, and yeah, they cut down a lot of pine trees back behind home plate. Oh.
Over to first and in time, and that will do it. So 3 innings of work for Navarro. He gives up 1 hit or 1 run and 5 hits. Expect that will probably close the book on him. We'll move to the bottom of the 3rd when we come back.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
Firehouse Subs just partnered with Hot Ones to create 2 new hook and ladder subs.
One with pickles marinated in Last Dab Reaper sauce to test yourself.
And a milder one with crispy garlic chips if tests aren't really your thing.
Find out how hot you like it for a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
From Live Oak, that looks like, well, I'd be guessing it's one of 2, and I think that's Brock Davis is what he said, or Cooper Smith. That one in there for the strike, and we'll try not to guess if we don't hear it, because that just gives an opportunity for folks there. But the PA system just makes it. Robert, voice of the Menard Eagles football, has made his way out of here, and ladies and gentlemen, Robert has left the building. Check swing there. They're going to call that a strike. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes here. A lot of folks making their way through. Certainly great opportunities to visit with some folks. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out here. Good looking curveball, and down on strikes it goes.
Now batting first baseman Tanner Duff.
Tanner Duff out of Oak Grove. Again, one of those participants in the home run derby. Had a couple of home runs in this one. Miller looking to finish this off, just giving up the 2 runs. That one up and out of the zone to Duff. think we'll get an opportunity sometime tonight to visit with LCU baseball coach Mike Burns. That one fouled back out of play and 1 ball and 1 strike. Been the home to this game for a lot. Also from Louisiana High School Sports will join us up here. We're excited about that. Got to visit with Ray Butler a little bit earlier, and well, what a great job he does turning those old DVDs and VHS tapes into YouTube videos.
Yes, he does. Shared with us a little bit of a setup, you know, and it pretty extensive. Not the easiest thing to do, but makes it happen.
Duff takes ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out in the swung on and driven. Going to be in front of the left fielder, who did a good job of cutting it off before it got to the gap, but I don't know that Duff would have been going anywhere else.
Now batting catcher, Gavin Pax.
Gavin Pax will stand in. He is out of Covington, down around that area where our buddy from the North Shore Prep Report is, and Mike McMillan. So big shout out to all those folks down in that area, and that one from Miller is in there for the strike. Miller gave up 2 runs in the first inning, settled down a little bit. It was a walk and a hit batter that really led to that. That base hit was after that, and that'll sure get you fouled straight back from Covington's own. Again, he'll be heading to Hammond in southeastern Louisiana.
Wow. As they were announcing them earlier, and most of you heard that.
Giving chase down the line and unable to get there, but Leger gave it a good run to get over there. You see him talking about it just a little bit. Well, what a historic run Erath made this year. That was great to see them make it all the way to that state championship series. Best 2 out of 3 changed a lot of things this year.
Yeah. What I was saying earlier too is, right before this pitch goes in, is that a lot of them were.
That one ground over the near side. Second base has it over to second. They'll go. They'll try the long way to 1. It won't get that. And just 2 outs here. Fielder's choice is what it is. Tried for it. Good long look.
Yeah. But I mean, most of the players here do have offers already.
Oh yeah, most of them are all signed by now. This is Mississippi Gulf Coast College signee Blaze Rodriguez out of Pope John Paul. Rodriguez there looking to keep this inning alive. It one is fouled off and back. So we found the trick is to just take the headset off, listen in a little bit, and then try to get back on it. See, Broadnax in the bullpen was down getting loose. Off and running there. We've got a shot down at second base.
Oh, got him.
Beautiful looking throw, and tag is there at second base, and that will retire the side. We'll head to the top of the 4th. East leads this one 2-1 when we come back. Chalmette High School's Bryce Wilson will stride in. Bryce heading up to Monroe, and he'll play for ULM in that one. Bryce Wilson now on to pitch here out of Chalmette, and I think that's just about as far of a trip as you can go from one end of Louisiana for high school on to your college career, from Chalmette up to Monroe.
Yeah, that's a pretty good trick. Pretty good track.
Won't be going home a lot on the weekends, that's for sure.
No. Maybe he's got his private pilot's license. He'll just do one of those
on down.
Yeah.
Rainey Mason due to lead things off here in the top of the 4th.
That or he'll get to know the little small town law enforcement real quick.
Yeah, make that trip, get on up there, and what a great area it is. Monroe, West Monroe, that you get on I-20 and you can be just about a number of places pretty quick, except south. It's difficult to get there from here.
Yeah, it's not that you can't get there from here, but it's not as easy.
Designated hitter Rainey Mason will stride in again. Told you he is off to Coastal Alabama. And they'll come out and talk about things with Wilson just a little bit. Rainey had a base hit in his last plate appearance. Oh, just such a swing that he puts into it. Just got under that one just a little bit as it went straight back to the backstop out near that home plate camera.
Saw that one coming at it.
Took a little something off of that one, and it is in there for strike 2. Right down the pipe, but now Mason in an 0-2 hole. Wilson looking good in his first batter, and that one is swung and hammered. Center field has it. Boy, he hit that one right on the screws, but right at center field. Jacob Freilich out of St. Thomas More will stride in. Freilich is headed to LSU Eunice. Grounds that one to shortstop, over to first, and in time. LSU Eunice getting a local product in basketball. Jody Jowers, she's going there to play in girls basketball.
Yeah, good pickup there. Is it the Bobcats? No, Eunice.
The Bengals.
Bengals, that's it. I knew it was a cat animal. Should have known with the LSU.
Squaring around and bunting, laying that one down, and what a great job he did to look at that one. They're going to try to let it. Oh, and it hits that turf, and that's a Coach Mike Burns special when it rolls around. And I mean, in the good old days, if that's chalk and it's painted, it's getting out of there. But boy, that paint off of the turf pushed it back.
Yes. There's bristles.
Bristles. Seth Leger will stride in. The third baseman in this one gave a good chase on that last opportunity that he had. Well, as night falls, it really has cooled off some out here. It's looking nice. Need to get it in. Glad they were playing it today and tomorrow. A lot of rain coming in next week. That one fouled back, way out of play. And 1 ball and 1 strike. We've seen some that hit hard and have been caught, and we saw that bunt laid down perfectly. Good looking fastball in there for the strike. And Wilson trying to get around that bunt single. 3 innings is what you expect the starters to go. Off and going, good move. See if they can end 2 innings on outs, and no, stolen base is in there.
Nice show there by the second baseman on the slide.
Yeah.
Two and two.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. 2-1 lead here. That one lifted high and over our heads up there. I think he was aiming for the drone, Chuck.
I forgot it was already put away.
Oh, see?
Instead of sending it to the last place he saw it.
Great drone footage to start the game off. We've got some video from around the campus. Just a different look to it. Here, I think you'll like that. Up and out of the zone, fills it up. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, we are 446 Sports, delighted to have you on board with us watching this one. Ground ball to second base is gathered in over to first and in time, and that will do it for the top of the fourth. Base hit on the bunt. No runs, no errors, and one left on. We will be back for the bottom of the fourth when we come back.
Check out some of our recent work at the Panthers Stadium. In addition to custom signs and banners, we also handle custom trophies, custom awards, custom vehicle wraps, and more. Give us a call. We handle projects large and small.
Firehouse Subs just partnered with Hot Ones to create 2 new hook and ladder subs.
One with pickles marinated in Last Dab Reaper sauce to test yourself.
And a milder one with crispy garlic chips if tests aren't really your thing.
Find out how hot you like it for a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
Back here, and Blaze Rodriguez will lead things off in the bottom of the fourth. He was up when the caught stealing occurred. And any word in these games, they do go the full 9. So you'll get a lot of baseball today and tomorrow.
Lots.
That one fouled back and over the Texas Roadhouse booth. How about that?
Get over there and get you a slider if you're watching it while you're on. Appreciate you listening to us and watching.
Good looking curveball that misses inside. So if you come in tomorrow, maybe you just watch this one at home tonight. You're coming in tomorrow. Make sure that you come over here down by that first base dugout area where Texas Roadhouse is set up and get you one of those sliders. All of the proceeds go here to the LBCA.
Yes, they did. Great way for
that one lifted high,
supporting the clubs.
That will find its way back over into the trees and out of there. There you get a good look in at Rodriguez.
See what he does here on this bat with your camera. There's a shot there, Doug.
Well, worked out a little bit better on the heel.
Yeah. I got to see the call from the umpire.
You did? Second baseman Brock Davis strides in. I'll get you some sort of a shot here in a minute, Chuck. Don't worry. There you go. Impressed with the work already coming in, throwing the ball well by Knox out of Sulphur. Slade rocks back, delivers this one. Misses there. Of course, LSU on now in the SEC tournament. Don't blame me for watching this one, and not that one. You get a good look there. Ryan Dara out of Brother Martin. Strides in. Drops in for the curveball from Knox. Slade with a strikeout and a walk here in his first inning of work. The hitters look like they're going to go probably half a game. They'll go 4.5 innings maybe, and it'll change a little bit, and they'll play the second half, and then you'll get some play tomorrow.
Yes.
18 innings of baseball between these two teams. Enjoy an all-star weekend.
It's like a full round of golf, Doug.
Just about.
1 and 2.
Oops. Kind of varied his delivery there. Throws a good looking pitch in there, and that is strikeout number 2 for Knox.
Now batting third baseman, Bryce Robinson.
Bryce Robinson out of St. Aug. Bryce, one of those players that is not signed, so we're thinking there's an opportunity to get him some reps and get somebody to see him in this one and get on somewhere. Got the start in All-Star game number 1 for the East. The East leads it 2-1, although they've been out hit 6-5. Often going there, and a little bit of hit and run right in front of where we're at. Yeah. Look, I got it too. It's right here. I could get that one. I better not. They might get after me if I sneak down and get that one.
Doug, you probably shouldn't sneak down. He's going to do it anyway. He did it. Reached down there and got him one. Here comes a fill up here.
Over to first and in time, and that will do it. So I made the play here in front of me, and then the out is made there. Fielder's choice. And 2 down.
Nicely done. Did not know you were as limber as you were there.
Zoll Gimmer is there from Gina now. Will stride in. And if I'm mispronouncing that, it's the way that it was announced over the public address, and that's what we're going with. I'll probably get hammered if it's not, but it's okay.
Runners on first and second. I missed that.
2 down, bottom of the 4th we play. Gina, giant product, and that one is bounced over, and the runners will move up 90 feet. That a wild pitch from Knox. And a base hit away from a couple of runs coming in. West wanting to keep it right here within just a run and not let the East get too far ahead. Dips down under that one. It's 3 balls and no strikes from Knox. And quickly they'll get some activity down and headed to the bullpen area.
Kind of hard to play bullpen when we warm up when it's just you.
Either that or you're really good.
Yes.
That'll load the bases up. Center fielder Josh Lim out of Dunham will stride in. He's staying there, or actually he's making his way over across the state a little bit to UL. He'll go to the University of Louisiana and get into that Matt Deggs system.
I haven't found the strike zone.
That one finds left field where it's going to be brought in and caught in, and that will do it here for the East in the bottom of the fourth, but they lead them loaded. And we'll move to the top of the fifth. 2-1 lead. East holds it. We'll be back right after this on 446 Sports.
Central Louisiana. This is your home for live sports action. From the field to the court, 446 Sports delivers the games you love with expert commentary and passionate coverage. Cheer for your favorite athletes and relive the moments that define our community spirit. Our sponsors keep us in the game. Together, we bring you the best in local sports coverage. Join the 446 Sports family today. Watch, cheer, celebrate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. .446 Sports, where Central Louisiana comes to play.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless.
Cash Martin leads things off here in the top of the fifth inning. Top of the fifth, we play 1 run, 6 hits for the West, 2 runs, 6 hits for the East, and a couple of walks. The difference in this one. Both teams have hit a batter, but it's that one extra boy. It was a walk and a hit by pitch and a base hit that did it back in that first inning. Chalmette's Bryce Wilson back in there, and he faces, as we said, Cash Martin. That one lifted high. It's got a shot, but it's the deepest part of the ballpark, and so coming in is there, and he'll make that one, the Weston product, a little bit easier than the last opportunity he had that had him banged around into the wall.
Yeah, not having to traverse some weird territory out there.
Yeah, well, that it slopes up out there in the outfield here, that warning track, rather than being flat. Swung on and missed there, and Wilson looking good with the fastball. Thought that was a radar, but it's 86 degrees, not 86 miles an hour. We get spoiled by the one out at Ash. That one ground over to third base and come across the diamond. Good work over at first base. Good stretch there from the Oak Grove product.
Now batting
Is this our home run hitter from the home run derby?
Yes, it is. Cole Flanagan. Got him listed as a pitcher and designated hitter, but hit the ball he does. Wilson delivers this one in there, and it is down low. 3 balls and no strikes, and was rolling along in this one. But again, you don't want to give Flanagan anything to hit, because he can hit out of here, and we saw it fly out 15 times in the derby, and trying to get that one 3-0. And look, that's an all-star 3-0 pitch. You're up there hacking. Nobody wants to walk in these games. Get up there and swing the stick, and that's what he did. Swung right through that 3-0 fastball. Check swing, and that's 3 balls and 2 strikes. A good piece of pitching by Wilson to make his way all the way back. The Chalmette product trying to go 1-2-3 here in the 5th. That one lifted foul and pushed over near the air conditioning units of the Louisiana Athletic Club. Ronnie Schwartz and company there. I'm glad it didn't come up and hit one of those windows.
Right. I'm sure they are thrilled about that.
Turns inside of that one, and it's ball 4. So Jackson Beto out of Sulphur. Let's get a good look in at him. And last time it didn't turn out too well for the hitter, did it?
No, it didn't. But it's only his first pitch. So.
That's right. Went up and out of the zone. We're going to leave it here for just a minute. Kind of give you an opportunity to get right inside the head of the first base coach and what he's seeing in this one. This is the batter's eye. That one in there for a strike, and 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 down here. Top of the 5th we play. Hits are even. Just 1 run separates the 2. Starting to get a little bit out of the zone on the last couple of hitters is Wilson. Swung through that one. And 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is where whatever mojo you have, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yeah. This is where you get it going in the dugout. Base runner's off and going, and that's going to be driven out. That'll chase the runner over to third base. Got a play over there, nothing doing. Back to second. And that's just a good piece of hitting there.
Good base hit or good hit there, double, and pushing your runners around, like I said, setting it up for 2 outs with runners in scoring positions.
Yeah, you got an opportunity with a base hit to take the lead here. That one is fouled off left. With runners at second and third, he's back in the windup. That one misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Not a bad little setup over here, Doug. Glad you saw this.
That's right. Look, now it wouldn't have been so bad. Earlier on, it would have been chaos.
Yeah.
One ball, 2 strikes here. 2 down, top of the 5th we play. That one up and out of the zone. Good job behind the dish to hold on to that one. And that will do it for the West. Had an opportunity, but they strand a couple of runners in the top of the 5th. We'll be back bottom of the 5th. East still leads this one 2-1. We'll be back. You're watching the Louisiana High School Coaches Association All-Star Game on 446 Sports.
During National Cataract Awareness Month, Wallace Eye Associates is joining the American Academy of Ophthalmology to help prevent blindness by offering complimentary cataract screenings. If you're over 65 and noticing unusual changes in your vision, our free screenings can help determine if you have cataracts. Call us today to schedule your complimentary cataract screening. When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
We've all seen how quickly things can change. Everything from the world around us to the cost of things we use on a daily basis. That's why we all need someone in our corner to keep our family protected while still watching out for our pocketbook. I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. There's no better time than now to complete an insurance review to make sure you're properly covered and not paying too much. Whether it's in our office, at your home, or your place of business, let us help you find peace of mind. If you're in need of your insurance checkup, whether auto, home, or life, talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
Bryce there out of Weston leads things off in the bottom of the 5th. Takes that one in there for the strike. This has been dominated by the pitching and pretty good defense along the way. Bounces that one up there. And they had some activity down in the bullpen. They'll slow it down just a little bit.
Just need the bullpen just down here past us where we're located.
Yep. And we'll get a good look at it if we get some activity in it. That one misses outside, ball 3, and it fills things up. 3 balls and 2 strikes. They're trying to get things going here for the East in the bottom of the 5th. Swung on and missed, and down on strikes it goes.
Heard Cooper is all I've heard so far. Didn't quite understand the last
that's
name.
Cooper Smith. They hadn't listed on our roster as a catcher, but that's Live Oak's Cooper Smith that stands in. 0-1 to Smith. He takes a good-looking curveball, misses out of the zone. Oh, it died right before it got to the plate.
Yeah.
It's ground off of the pitcher. It's going to be one of those unique ones to score. It's 1-4-3 on the put out off the pitcher there if you're scoring at home.
Now batting Tanner Duff.
First baseman Tanner Duff out of Oak Grove. We've seen him play well defensively in this one. The Oak Grove product.
Little fella just run in there, handed a couple of balls to the umpire. Good to see that. Getting those young fellas really little tights there.
Duff, one of those unsigned seniors. Lifts that one high, and it's going to stay on the infield. Shortstop is camping there. Come up, and he'll make the grab. And that will do it in the bottom of the 5th. We'll roll on to the 6th inning. We're halfway home in this one. 2-1, East leads it when we come back.
We've all seen how quickly things can change. Everything from the world around us to the cost of things we use on a daily basis. That's why we all need someone in our corner to keep our family protected while still watching out for our pocketbook. I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. There's no better time than now to complete an insurance review to make sure you're properly covered and not paying too much. Whether it's in our office, at your home, or your place of business, let us help you find peace of mind. If you're in need of your insurance checkup, whether auto, home, or life, talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
Back in the 6th we go. Leading things off there is Natchitoches Central first baseman Adam Gillett. And we're joined here in the booth as that swung on and missed by a gentleman that the entire state is familiar with, Trey Butler, out of Louisiana High School Sports, 14-0 Productions. That one's lifted foul. And welcome aboard, sir.
Appreciate it. Glad y'all had me on.
Look, tremendous work that you do, of course, in just about every sport. Is there anything you guys don't do?
I try to throw a little bit. Obviously, you know, the big sports I dive into a little bigger, and smaller sports is just, you know, it's like everything else, just less time I can, you know, spend on it or whatever.
Coached for a whole lot of years, and now the last couple of years been able to sit back and watch a little bit. What'd you do? Have you coached more? Have you watched more now that you've been retired?
So I was the film guy usually everywhere I coached football at. I don't know anything but film, breaking it down. So I probably logged more hours of watching tape than a lot of people that should have more, but this is what I do.
It's all for the pitcher and going to be in there for a base hit. Well, that's a tough one. We've seen a couple of them hit the pitcher today. 2-1 in this one. Give me your thoughts on it so far. What have you seen?
Man, it's a lot of talent here from all over the state. You know, I just kind of noticed Travis Adams out in center field. You know, he didn't get a start today. I mean, this kid hit 15 bombs at Sterlington this year and won a state championship, and he's struggling. Not struggling, but, you know, he has to get on the field in the second wave here. So just an enormous amount of talent for this state down here. Great event by Tim O'Neill.
And that's a beauty. That's the beauty of a two-day event like this. They'll play half today and half tomorrow, it looks like, on there. And everybody's deserving. That one almost thrown away, but a good job over at first base to corral that.
Yeah, I think they've got it set up to, you know, where one will start today 5 innings, and then the guy will come in for the last 4, and then they flip-flop it tomorrow with a lot of the positions because they only have 2 guys. But just all the respect in the world for all these kids, because they've definitely been battle tested. I've actually seen a lot of these guys play in the underclassmen game that Tim and them put on with the Coaches Association the last 2 years.
And that's generally up at ULM, isn't it?
It was at ULM 1 year, and it was down at Southeastern 2 years ago. And it's a really great event. It's just not the traditional, you know, all-star game that the state has known since 1982.
Look, just a bevy of talent that has been out here. What do you think has changed with these guys? Because this is the first. There is a walk that is issued by Wilson from Chalmette, who is still out, and we're having to listen in. So some of them we don't get, and you may know some of these guys just from seeing them, but the PA is a little muddled on us out here. I think that's Welsh's Dane Igus. Is that right? Grounds that one back to, well, it's going to be a tough play. Everybody's going to be safe. And we said, so you were right in front of the bunt that was there that hits the line and stays foul. Boy, that's got to, if you're a batter, that's great. If you're a pitcher, you're like, come on, man.
Yeah, it kind of looked Major League Baseball, how them guys, they look like they're reading the spin on that thing, the English, and, you know, they've just seen it so many times. They probably a little better on their home field because they know where the slope's at and where the rough spots are at, but this turf here is pretty even.
Said that was a Mike Burns special. He likes to play and cater towards the bunt, so it'll stay in there. But I guess the question we were asking you prior to that was, what do you think the effect has had fatigue-wise on these guys that just played in those state tournaments and went the 3-game series? And I mean, it's just a lot of baseball.
Well, if they're like my stepchild who started at first base for the East, he come rolling in on 2 wheels from his senior trip. So he's been in Panama City for 6 days, so everybody knows what's happening on senior trips down there.
Correct.
They not getting a lot of rest and putting probably the right chemicals and food in their body, you know, for lack of a better word. So it's a tough ask for these kids. But I think the quality of the game, you know, not a lot of errors and really good pitching and really good at bat. So
no, it has been solid indeed. Let's talk a little bit more about what it is that you do and the things that we see that you've done lately. Is you're going around to these schools and getting old DVDs and VHS tapes. That's little tapes, so those are the younger ones that aren't familiar with what that is. And you're taking so that history is preserved out on the YouTube.
So that's the new good hit there to the short. May turn that.
Got him just by half a step.
Well, a lot of double plays today on these guys that are not familiar with each other up the middle, and they turn it like they've been doing it all their lives together.
That run scored on the 9th hit that evens things up at 2-2 in this, so the West all the way back in this one. But it just gives an opportunity to see vintage footage.
Yeah, so this is actually the last really the newest thing we've kind of got into, and I say we. This is a solo project, and there's been a few people help me through the years. But the biggest help I get is from the average fan. They'll contact me and say, "Man, my granddad or my uncle or so-and-so's got a box of VHS tapes or a 8mm film, and they want to get it converted." And they ask, can I do it? I say, absolutely. And they, what do you charge? I'm like, I don't charge nothing.
Right.
I'll meet you halfway. I'm usually traveling the state, so I'll get it from you, and I'll convert it, put it on YouTube. We got a YouTube channel. I guess we got 2,000 high school games on it now, which is, when you look at it overall, it's not a lot, but I started out doing dome games, and I had about, probably 90 state championship games before I got into just, I'll do playoffs, and then the next thing you know, somebody calls and they've got just a random game from wherever, and I said, there's no need to kind of cull those games. Like, I'm retired now, so got a lot of free time. So that's just kind of what we dove off into.
And it's mainly just football that you do?
So I'll do basketball and I'll do some baseball. Very few people have baseball to upload.
Right.
So basketball a little bit more so, but it started in football and it's just kind of expanded from there, and more people, and it's kind of surprising. People want to watch the halftime show, the band, the cheerleaders, that kind of people. Those people will text and say, "Hey, man, it was awesome. I got to see my, grandmother cheering at a game. Just real weird kind of stuff like that." But people enjoy it, and so I don't see any reason to stop. It's kind of a hit.
Fostering community pitching change here out of Holy Cross. Will Andrade, I guess that is, out of Holy Cross. And tell me something this year that you've seen that really stood out to you on the diamond in baseball. What do you think jumped out to you?
Well, I got to watch some really good ball. My wife's child, my stepson, he's on a real good team at Oak Grove, and we play a really good schedule. We traveled the state, played St. Charles, Bruley, Northwood, Riverside, a lot of good teams, OCS, a lot of teams that were down in Sulphur. So I've got to see just a phenomenal amount of baseball, and then got to culminate that with Oak Grove's 5th state championship. And
I was just about to say, you said it was a really good Oak Grove team. I think those two things go hand in hand, really good and Oak Grove.
So my dad was the first baseball coach to win the state championship at Oak Grove in 1989 with a kid named Jason Martin, who I graduated with. Played at quarterback at Tech, and then they won it again in 92, and then he retired, and it's just been a program that's really been consistent, over the years. And you hear a lot of people, gripe about the split today, and Oak Grove couldn't have won 5. It wasn't, we've been winning them things a long time in Oak Grove, and we're really proud of that fact. So we have had success, but it's like everybody else. You can only play the cards that you're dealt.
That's correct.
So, Ryan Gregory in football has won 4 out of 6, and Ty's won the last 5 in baseball. So it's been a fun place to go home and retire to.
Look, everybody loved Brady and the Patriots until they won a lot of them.
That's correct.
The folks in Calvary softball get a phone call every time they win.
That's correct.
Until you go out and look at the facilities and see the work that's getting put in. And look, I tell you, let's line up, let's go, let's play.
Yeah, and I challenge a lot of these places that they're tired of seeing the same old teams win. Well, I understand that. I had a interaction with a fan back in the quarterfinals. He was really upset. His team had been 10-run 3 times in the last 4 years at Oak Grove, and he's really upset. And I said, man, you need to look at what your program is doing. I said, I know for a fact this kid I got, he leaves and goes to 6 o'clock before school workouts.
That's right.
3 days a week for baseball. How many Class A and 2A schools work out 3 days a week before school all year long?
That's right.
And so I heard John Curtis talk about that years ago at a coaching clinic. He said, people worry about what I'm doing, and that's where their fault is. He says they don't look at themselves.
Right.
they don't dissect themselves like they dissect us. So
too many people want people to be equal, but they want you to be equal down here.
Correct.
And they don't want to be equal up here.
Correct.
Well, come on and get you some and get up there.
You know, Nick Saban, now I've heard him been to many clinics out there, and he's
good-looking work by Andrade, too. We're going to take a break, and we'll get into that when we come back. You're watching the 2025 All-Star Game right here on 446 Sports. We'll be back right after this.
Firehouse Subs just partnered with Hot Ones to create 2 new hook and ladder subs.
One with pickles marinated in Last Dab Reaper sauce to test yourself.
And a milder one with crispy garlic chips if tests aren't really your thing.
Find out how hot you like it for a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
And we're back on the campus of Louisiana Christian University. I'm Doug Gann with 446 Sports, along with my broadcast partner Chuck Perkins. And Ray Butler joins us from Louisiana High School Sports and the 6,000,000 followers that he has over there. Look, just great work that you do, and it's just you're putting out information that I sit and I look at and I was like, where do you come up with that? It's just great stuff.
Newspaper.com turns out to be my best friend. So when I got 14-0 Productions going, it was just a place to write down information because I had a lot of sports buddies, and we always talked about, you know, who was that guy in the dome so-and-so year? Well, you know, the MVP. So we started writing all this stuff down, and I started putting it in one spot, and that's the website, you know, 140production.com, and I try to cover all the major sports. And then it just got, social media exploded.
Right.
So I got into that, and it really, I didn't have no idea I'd look up, and I'd be sitting at, you know, whatever, 90,000 followers across all my platforms. So that was kind of a surprise.
Look, one of the comments I saw was somebody just a couple of days ago too. Somebody had gotten hacked on there, and you said that had happened to you before. Just look for the one that's got 62,000 followers. And I just thought that was great.
So that's his name is Jeremy Manny. He was one of the ones that that commented. It was, I forget, Skyjacker there in West Monroe. I think their YouTube videos went off, which mine did. I had a bunch of old coaching videos and had something that was copyright. The company had went out of business, but somebody had bought the rights, and I think it was I don't know, I forget what coach it was, but it was somewhere he had been as assistant coach, and he gave a little wide receiver video. Well, it just turned into somebody saw it, filed a copyright, and YouTube literally took down 1,700 videos.
Oh my gosh!
Without even email.
That one lifted out into the gap, giving it good chase. Look, you're not going to get one out of here at the center field. It's 390.
Yeah, it is a shot out there.
Look, I told him I'd have to hit it twice to get it out of here.
When they started firing away in the home run derby, you know, I said, well, the left-handed hitter's got a shot.
Yep.
You know, you 315, and when the wind kind of died, you had a chance.
What an impressive performance by Cole Flanagan,
does that guy have a stroke or
my
what?
word.
Good Lord. But yeah, I got the YouTube back. I had to email the company, and it was just kind of funny how somebody, because that was a big deal to a lot of people. I had a lot of people's tapes uploaded, had no backup, and so you know, when I lost all that video, just I don't know how many hours, days and days and days of video, but got it all back, and I got that remedied and got a backup plan now, so everything should be in good shape for, you know, hopefully years to come for people to enjoy.
We're certainly excited. So what does the summer hold for you?
So I guess right before school ended, about
it's going to be a leadoff walk there.
2-3 weeks ago, we started gathering up Sinlaw coaches, talked to Thomas Bachman, Went to Bolton.
Good friend of the show, without a doubt.
Went to Pineville, went to Tioga, and started just gathering up tapes in a geographical area, everything they had in the coach's office. So that's kind of where this is going to go. I got a trip planned to New Orleans. I'm going to grab some. I've talked to John Curtis's assistant coach, Coach JT's son. Going to go down there, talk to Louis Cook Jr., Notre Dame. Going to get a Bro Bridge. Got some, and I'm just thinking the main one where I started the conversation, but I've got 2 or 3 schools around each one of those that I'm just going to gather tapes. Like I say, I'm retired, so I got a lot of free time, and if you got some tapes, as a school, feel free to contact us, and we can work you in.
And you can take DVDs or VHSs, whatever it is.
Yeah, and I literally am in the process. I take the old, I don't know what they were called. They were called the mini tapes. Okay, and those were a big thing back in the day.
The reel-to-reel?
So the reels,
that's the technical term is
yeah, the old 8mm and 8mm super reels have been my downfall up until just the other day. Well, I found a product that you can buy, and you can do them. Now, I've got some mixed reviews about them, about how long they last, how many times you do it. But the old reels, I'm fixing to start converting them. I've got an old 1974 Richwood State Championship game that nobody's ever seen. Nobody's ever seen a copy. I've got it at the house. I just didn't have a way to convert it. So, got a lot like that. Bro Bridge has a ton. A-Meat has a ton of old reels, and I'm fixing to gather all those and start converting. And
so there's theoretically no off season for you. It just happens to be the months that you're in.
So I hunt a lot, fish a little, and watch ball games.
I'm not sure what happened there at the end of that one, but okay, there you go. But that'll do it there for the top of the 6th, or the bottom of the 6th. Yeah, we'll move to the 7th here, all tied up. We looked at Rainey Mason. He hit the ball pretty well, and we'll just leave it here, Chuck. That's fine. He had an opportunity to talk with his dad earlier beforehand, who happens to be the basketball coach and the athletic director here on campus, and talked to him, though, just as a dad, and it was just all smiles.
Absolutely.
And that young man has had a great year, state championship, one of a couple of teams that won in baseball and softball up at North DeSoto, and he had a great year.
They have a great program up there. When we went and watched them play Notre Dame back around, I forget, 2011 or 12, and that place was just exploding out there. And I said, man, all it's going to take is a good leadership, AD, head coach, whatever, in this place. And then they
Stonewall, Louisiana.
They hit the money out there with the shell.
That didn't hurt things.
That don't hurt nothing. And Dennis Dunn, I think, was the final, the little lightning over here around over the other side of the field there.
Yeah, we need that several miles away.
Yeah. But that's a growing place with a lot of great athletes. And had a buddy that had his wife taught out there, and she, kids went there. They loved it. They thought it was a great place. And just, a lot of good things going on out there.
Look, and it's all over the state, and that's what we've enjoyed in the last year of being able to travel the state. You hear about the big programs all the time, but, man, there's a story just about everywhere you go.
So you got to do one or two things to attract kids, because that, no matter what nobody tells you today, education itself is a recruitment process.
Correct.
They can call it select, non-select, but everybody is fighting over kids, because kids are your survival in your school, whether it's MFP money for public schools or if it's just tuition for private schools. And you got to do one or two things. You got to win, or you got to have phenomenal facilities.
Right.
There's not a third option.
That's
And
correct.
if you can couple that and get both of them, now you own something. But you don't have to do both, because Notre Dame, they don't even have their own stadium. They get the most out of their kids probably of anybody I've ever been around.
The Pios are in it every year.
Yeah, that's right. In every sport, they have phenomenal, coaching staff, and they win a lot of games. Calvary's kind of caught, lightning in a bottle, because they have phenomenal facilities. But a guy named Clint Hortman, I don't know if y'all know Clint, but
Clint's Clint visits with us a lot.
Clint can raise $1 where it ain't no dollar to be raised. and they've got really good kids there. And
Greg Frazier told us that when they got there, that there was no running water up the hill even, and now they've got the arc at Lady Calf Park, and that's just a beautiful thing. When you turn off the interstate and you get onto the campus of it, you're like, wow, this is what it's like in a program.
That's right.
Rather than just a team.
I pulled up over there a few years ago on Clint's first day, and he's got his own personalized parking spot.
That's right.
And I went and parked in it immediately and sent him a picture of it, but I said, this is how you do it here. You take care of your people and you build, and that's what they've done.
We met Clint just this year when we started talking about going up and doing some softball at Calvary, and Clint reached out to us and we visited with him, and so it's a great addition to the state that we're going up there. Not us, them. Getting up to that northwest portion of the state.
Well, he's done 2 stints there, and loves it, and will talk. He will talk ball all day with you, and he loves promoting his kids wherever he may be at. And if you don't have one of those guys in your program, because a head coach can't do that.
That's correct. Down on strikes and the tag is made, and I see that lightning starting to creep in a little closer.
It's creeping. Yeah. But you got to have one of those guys that hustles like Clint. You look at Clint, you talk to Clint, and he's like, this guy ain't no hustler. He'll out-hustle everybody in the world for a nickel. I'm going to tell you, he is a great guy and a great guy for that program.
Well, that's what you like to see, and you can tell that that's been there when you go up there and the monuments that are there and the way the park looks and just the aesthetic layout of it is just really nice.
I mean, you don't have to recruit kids there.
That's
that place recruits itself.
Yeah.
You pull up in there and you see all that stuff, and you see those banners and those state championships and those fields, and you're a 7th grader or 6th grader or whatever.
Like, absolutely, that's where I want to go.
I'm not going down the road to, John Q. Public School that's in the news every day for the wrong reasons.
That one ground to second base, takes a bad hop, corralled in there, and a tremendous play made to retire the side.
Great play.
That'll do it in the top of the 7th. We'll be back for the bottom of the 7th when we come back.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
Check out some of our recent work at the Panthers Stadium. In addition to custom signs and banners, we also handle custom trophies, custom awards, custom vehicle wraps, and more.
Back we go in the bottom of the 7th. We are here in a lightning starting to creep in a little bit closer as we here with Louisiana High School Sports. Started out as Louisiana High School Stadiums, getting a look at everything else, and we have, of course, talked about you either supporting your kids or you're not. But what kind of stories? I mean, you went around a lot. Tell me what maybe your best adventure is.
We went in 2012, and I had some stupid idea. I'm going to go to every high school football stadium in the state of Louisiana. Well, I did.
That's prior to being retired, though.
I was coaching full-time at 4A Franklin Parish, but this was in the summer.
Right.
And it was only, I would do the workouts. I would work 3 days and the other, long weekends, and we would travel. We hit 26 schools in one day, one time.
Holy cow.
And you can't do that everywhere, but in a metropolitan area like New Orleans, Baton Rouge, you can. There's 26 there's 26 teams there. Maybe not stadiums, but not probably a bad example because there's not that many stadiums. But in certain parts of the state, you can couple. But we traveled all over, and one of the places we went in the Florida parishes where we got kind of tied up in a spot where wasn't a hotel, but one little place, and it wasn't the best place. It was kind of a trucker dive slash place for the paper mill. And the guy told us that there's one room left, and we said, "Oh, we'll take it." So we go in there, and it was one of them joining rooms with the door that joins your neighbor.
Gotcha.
Well, it had no door handle.
Oh my!
And the door was open.
Oh my!
So I'm in there. I'm packing. I'm big NRA guy. I walk in there. And I'm looking in the other room because all rooms.
That's right.
He just told me rooms are full. So it was kind of a hairy night. But we moved the dresser in front of the door, and we made it work. We went and took that picture that morning, and we flew out of there pretty quick. But
got out quick.
I did. I went to every high school with a football stadium. I wrapped it up in December in New Orleans, but that 2012, 2013, 1 year from summer to summer, saw 200 plus stadiums, and I learned a lot about the haves and the have-nots.
Right.
You could tell who was supporting their kids, and you went places that you felt bad for kids because you could look at the facilities and you said, these people are doing nothing for their kids. Oh, good hit.
And you hear the ambiance of the mic behind you. Sometimes you want to turn around and look, and people are really not sitting behind you.
It was,
home plate.
It picks up, right?
Yeah, it does pick up pretty good.
So when I did Radio at Oak Grove, they had a fan. They had a fan mic. So
gotta be careful about them.
Yeah. So this year I didn't do Radio at Oak Grove, but I sit right in front of the fan mic.
Right.
Well, that was one time, and I never did that again. That was a bad deal. So
yeah, we used to put one at certain games, and then you realize let's put it somewhere else, and then
you
move it
gotta look at the
accordingly.
folks there.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that lightning really has picked up some. It's in that cloud right about it. It wouldn't surprise me if they put a hold on this one and finish it up in the morning. Boy, that'll sure confuse things.
What are we down to, an inning and a half here?
Yeah, they're playing 9, so you're bottom 7 now. So you've got 2 full to go.
2 full to go. Okay.
Yeah. Knocks back and fires that one up and out of the zone.
And pitching always is an issue in these games. I think the East had a pitcher. Something happened. I think one of the pitchers, I don't know if they scratched it off on y'all's sheet.
They did,
okay, so he was a pitcher, so they tried to recruit 1 or 2 more, but I don't think they found anybody because the last thing you want to do is put somebody in a bind at an all-star game.
Correct.
So, man, this game's got a lot of history. I went back and I found the write-up and the roster.
So newspaper.com, that needs to be my next spot to get.
So it's the Google of newspaper. What's bad about it is places like Baton Rouge and New Orleans, like the Advocate, some of the bigger papers, they have their own in-house reels with old papers on them. So you can't access them. What you access is the DeQuincy Ledger, the West Carroll Gazette,
right.
Little bitty stuff from these little towns, but you look at their writing and it's phenomenal,
right.
from back in the day. So that's how I've had to piece that together. It's a really good website. It's $75 every 6 months, but it's basically the Google for newspapers.
Yeah.
It's really, you get lost and you get.
Good job. That's going to double up. Runner from first. And again, that's double play number 4 of the night. Not your most conventional one, and that got the runner.
Yep.
But we're through 7 in this one, rolling right along. Hopefully the Thunder rolls on out of here. We'll move to the top of the 8th when we come back.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
We're back, top of the 8th. We go, talking a lot of history out here, and you know we have our own subscription to a newspaperstyle.com. We hired Mike Coppage, who just seems to know everything about everything too, and saw his first article got posted just on Thursday.
So I've never really personally met Mike. I've talked to him a couple of times through the internet. A buddy of mine from Oak Grove who coached down here in the Sinai area, a guy named Scott Green, who's been at Menard, Winfield, and just around the place. But he knew Mike, and he kind of put me on to him, and I started following him, and just does phenomenal work. You know, just for sports. He's all in and does a lot of good articles for the kids.
Yeah, and look, he loves to spend some time on those message boards, and we won't give out any props to anybody on here of the message boards, but he certainly likes to stir some folks too.
I go back to the KenRamsey.com days.
Oh gosh, you're going back. Yeah.
I was an original OG, as they called it back in the day. I'm not going to give out my screen name that was on there because I don't know if a lot of that stuff it was screenshotted or what back in the day, but it was fun.
Right.
That Ken Ramsey kind of let Louisiana kind of be born in the whole social media smack talk, I guess. Before that was a real thing, and then it spun off into a couple other places. But yeah, that's always been a big part of Louisiana sports.
That's going to get him, and that's a hit by pitch. That's the third one of those that we've seen today.
So I've never been to old school Louisiana College. I had a buddy played down here, but I never got to watch him here, watch them play when they played ULM. But this is a really nice campus, kind of a northwestern vibe about it. You know, just not as, I guess, as the old live oak trees everywhere, but really big, nice campus.
It's nestled in a lot of, and again, it's a very comfortable campus. I think it's about 800 acres is what it is here. Just down the hill is the softball field.
Right.
Off to your left is H.O. West Fieldhouse, where Coach Rainey Mason and the Wildcats play. And then, of course, Coach Ben McLaughlin and the Wildcat football team play down at the bottom of the hill.
So we have a kid that graduated from Oak Grove that is coming here this year, a D lineman that played with Tanner all these years. And actually, I coached at Franklin Parish with one of our assistant principal who coached me at the time, Bryce Curtis. He's a backup quarterback for the football team here. So really, really nice, and I like what they're working towards here. Is that the baseball coach with the ponytail?
It is.
I can appreciate a guy that just enjoys a good bottle of shampoo. I mean, I saw him and I was like, yeah, me and that guy, we could go eat some crawfish together, no doubt.
So a couple of state championships back at 86 and 87 for Tioga High School is where Burns was at. He coached football as well. I know that it can go back there because I played for him back then. Oh, that's a good move, and it's going to be thrown away. And that's got an opportunity to hustle on over to third, but nothing doing there. It's going to be an error on the pitcher.
He had a great jump. They were going to have to make two good throws and two good catches to get him. Great move.
Look, that looked like the kind of jump you get off of a left-handed pitcher where you're going first move.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But Burns came over here, and he just coached his 1,000th game over here, eclipsed 500 wins earlier in the year, and is just, or last season. And of course, he's one of those that they're going to be an opportunity, good looking play over there. He'll have something named after him around here, I can assure you that.
So I can't remember who the coach was. I had a buddy I played ball with at Oak Grove named Todd Moore. He's a head baseball coach at Red River now. But he played here 93, 94, 95. They had a really good baseball coach in that era. I can't remember what his name was, but they did really well here. It's always been kind of a, it's not just upper echelon. It is what it is, small ball, but they do a good job down here and invite and get a lot of kids involved, and that's what this is here. I mean, this is not just a coincidence that this thing's here at LC.
You're exactly right.
They get a good look at a lot of kids, and I noticed on the roster, what do you think, 10, 11 kids unsigned?
That's right. So there's an opportunity to do it. One of them, the young man from Weston, is an LCU commit. He was the one in right field that had trouble with that slope.
With the ball,
but
right.
I think everybody would have trouble with that slope until you get used to it.
So we actually saw him. So Oak Grove had the the top seed, so they got to play a warm-up game.
Right.
Well, Weston did too, and so we met them at Sterlington and played a doubleheader. And I got to watch Weston, really good baseball team with some really good kids. He did well there, and he's got a good career ahead of him also.
So it's probably been 3 years, 4 years maybe, I guess, and we follow a lot of Grace Christian baseball. Son played there, so
yep.
I played for Burns in high school baseball, and my son was recruited and played for him here at LC. But played with Grace, and then Grace likes to go to different places. Them and Weston went up and played at the Field of Dreams field a few years ago in Dyersville, Iowa.
Wow.
They're on it, and we drove, and Chuck and I shared the drive. Well, he drove 30 minutes out of 34 hours, and I drove the rest of it. So if you want that to be sharing, it is. But got up there, and we're stumbling around, and of course it's, gosh, that one's driven out to left field. First ball, it's hit pretty well, but right at the left fielder. And so they get out there, and Iowa being a lot colder, it does sit in. So I guess this game was in April. Still cold. The snow was not too far from being there. So there's no corn out there. So the kids walk arm in arm like everybody does, and they Photoshop the corn on them. So it looks like they're coming out of the cornfield. So that was neat. But if you're familiar with the movie, the dad that comes out at the end of the movie, Dwyer is his name, was building a museum there, an old baseball museum.
Wow.
And we were able to go by there. The very first dollar bill that's hanging up in that is a 446 Sports dollar bill. I've got the corn, and I've got a glove, and it says you want to have a catch, and it's just, it was really cool of that experience. But the team they played was Weston, the Wolves.
So I don't know the administrator at Grace or Weston, but I can tell you right now, that's the kind of stuff that kids and parents want their kids to be a part of.
That's right, absolutely.
Kids go there. Grace ain't got to recruit nobody to their baseball program.
Right.
I can hear one story, and I know that place recruits itself because of that right there, because I can't name another, principal that would let that happen.
Right.
Weston the same way. So
and that was the first trip they went over and played at Minute Maid. A couple of years before that.
That's nice there.
It was a lot of fun to go over there and do that. But there you have a glimpse back into that. Ground ball over towards third. Gonna look like it hit the runner, but of course he's in foul territory.
Yeah, you mentioned Iowa about the temperature difference. I worked up there during college. I took a semester off before I decided to go be a coach. Decided I wanted to do the pipeline like everybody else in Oak Grove. We were up there in late March. It snowed 8 inches one day.
Yeah,
and
that's
I
where
learned
the Will Digger's wallet term comes from.
Yeah,
I gotta believe.
I said, no, I ain't pipelining career year over with. I'm going back to school. I finished up in a year and a half, and the rest is history. Because it's cold. It's cold up there.
Yeah, and look, they've done a lot with it too, the major league stuff. So you remember the year that I guess it was the Yankees and the White Sox played there. The very first year that they had, it was kind of like the redo game.
I do, vaguely, yep.
ESPN comes in, puts this field up, does everything, and after the game, they take it all down and go away. So all the fencing, all of that, it's gone. All you see is the field that's left out there.
Yeah.
So, or joined by a little royalty out here.
That's what they call the founder of the feast right there.
That's right. The executive director here of the Louisiana Baseball Coaches Association. And
so I'm going to tell a story on Tim he don't know.
Come on.
So
he don't know the story, or he don't know you're going to tell the story?
He knows a version of it, but he don't know the rest of it.
Okay.
So I believe you were coaching at St. Fred around 98 with Guerrero. Okay, so my dad retired in 92 from Oak Grove. Won the second state championship, got out. Well, a guy named Steve Harris, who ended up taking over the Oak Grove program, then ended up winning a state championship at Forest. He took over. So he had a couple of rough years, and they asked Daddy would he come back and help. So Daddy and Steve and Oak Grove's 99 bunch, whichever one it was, I forget, they go to St. Fred. And Guerrero and O'Neill are the coaches. Well, St. Fred, they got a couple of, according to the Oak Grove people, a couple of mouthy parents. And if you ask the St. Fred parents, Oak Grove had a couple of mouthy. So it was that kind of deal. So they jibber-jabber and all. I mean, this is heated. It's a night game. It's a district game. It's a big, big deal. I think St. Fred had just beat Oak Grove for the first time in history in football, maybe the year or the year before. So rivalry is level 10. It's ready. So they get into all kind of talking, and Steve, he's a real Harris, the head coach at Oak Grove. He's real calm. They have words with Paul and them, and my daddy, he's a man of a few words. That's what he'll never be would have never been a politician or anything yet. Well, it's all I can do. I'm there because I'm in college, and I'm there, and I have it's all I can do to keep my daddy from being on a news channel, from going out there and fist fighting, a fan from St. Fred. So Tim and them, I forget who won the game. It was a great game, and Tim and them was just there to coach baseball, and Daddy, he turned in one of them deals for him where he was ready to act a fool and get on TV, I think. But
well, how about
I had to talk him, off the campus basically that night.
The game inside the game. You can't beat Fun at the Old Ballpark, that's for sure.
And that's not rare. I mean, that happens a lot.
Final out is made there in the top of the 8th. We'll move to the bottom of the 8th. The old Lightning getting a little closer, but I don't think anybody's looking at it here. We'll be back bottom of the 8th. We're tied at 2. You're watching the 2025 Baseball Coaches Association All-Star Game on 446 Sports.
We've all seen how quickly things can change. Everything from the world around us to the cost of things we use on a daily basis. That's why we all need someone in our corner to keep our family protected while still watching out for our pocketbook. I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. There's no better time than now to complete an insurance review to make sure you're properly covered and not paying too much. Whether it's in our office, at your home, or your place of business, let us help you find peace of mind. If you're in need of your insurance checkup, whether auto, home, or life, talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect your biggest investments.
Firehouse Subs just partnered with Hot Ones to create 2 new hook and ladder subs.
One with pickles marinated in Last Dab Reaper sauce to test yourself.
And a milder one with crispy garlic chips if tests aren't really your thing.
Find out how hot you like it for a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
Travis Adams set to lead things off the bottom of the 8th against Glenbrook's Easton Sanders. Sanders, I promise you, is there. Well, you don't have my camera on anyway, so he's behind the first baseman there. There you get a good look at Easton as he peers in, ready to go. Seems to be a resurgence. I've seen Glenbrook on social media this year, I believe, more than I ever have.
They had a really good team a couple years ago, played down at Sulphur. And we got to see Oak Grove played them this year, so I've seen them, and they've got some really good ball players.
Well, when you see the catcher run out that quick, Ump took one there, and he takes opportunity to go out there and visit with him just a bit. And that's what you look at the little indicators. If the umpire goes out and walks the ball out to the pitcher, that means that the catcher got nicked up pretty good. If the catcher walks out after a first pitch like that, it lets you know they're giving Blue just a minute or two.
The batter for Sterlington, Adams, he's going to ULM, but he had a whale of a season. He hit about 14 or 15 home runs there was some controversy over was it the school record or not. I know for a fact it was not, but I think he was one short. But had a phenomenal year. And just a great kid, and it'll be a big addition for ULM.
Look, ULM has recruited baseball and softball very well this year. I've seen a lot of folks that are headed that way.
Yeah, the coaching deal is a bad situation right now. They've kind of drug this thing out. I kind of thought they were going to promote from within, but to my knowledge, as of right now, they still have not. So,
well, then the old regime got them coming that way. Well, we're on the heels of that softball all-star game, and just you look around at the amount of talent that is going to the next level out of the state of Louisiana in baseball and softball. It's just phenomenal. That's a testament to great coaching, great families, great support, and it's just it's a good time to be out on the diamond here in Louisiana.
Well, I think what the difference is now than just what everybody's looked at the big schools. Everybody was just LSU, ULL all those years. Well, now, I mean, you look at some of these, LSUS, LSU Eunice here. I mean, these are some phenomenal ball players that they have playing for these smaller schools.
Well, so as they make the rule where the JUCO doesn't affect you anymore on their cost-sharing eligibility, you're going to see that, and that's the only thing I think that they were able to do to offset that disaster that is the transfer portal.
It is, yeah. It's really going to get complicated and probably going to get worse before it gets better. But just a fun time for Louisiana with baseball for sure.
Look, you talk about a fun time for Louisiana with baseball. I had the opportunity to talk to Coach Strapoli before the game, and we were flying the drone over here just to get some footage, and he's hitting fungo out in the outfield, and he goes to ducking and swinging that bat at it, not knowing if he was under attack. But he rolls right into story after story, and I'm telling you, I could sit and listen to baseball stories from that gentleman for hours.
So, I think he told me he started in 1985, and you're talking about the coach from Haynes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he started.
Yes, he's on our screen there. Is what we saw. That's
so Ty Rollinson, the other assistant coach or coach for the East, he comes over to me and he says, "Do you recognize that guy?" I said, "No, not a clue." He said that he was the head coach at Ridgewood Prep when your dad and them beat them in '92 for the state championship. This was back before they played before they moved to A, B, and C down here to Bringhurst in LA.
Right.
That was the last year they played that they played it at a home field, and he brought a Ridgewood team up to Oak Grove, and a kid named Jason Martin ended up pitching a no-hitter, a shutout against them, beat them 8-0. But he remembered that game like it was yesterday, because he remembered the overthrow in the third inning. He said, "We had y'all to the third inning." He said, "It's 0-0. We overthrow a ball, and it rolls to the fence in the outfield." And God bless him, he's done it forever, so I wasn't going to argue. But I wanted to say, you wasn't never going to score on Jason Martin, so it didn't matter then. But we're just one of those. But just a great guy, full of all kind of great stories, and you could just tell loves the game, supports his kids.
He told us some stories about how they would work the per diem system to make sure on their laundry. He said that was the original NIL money, when they were giving you money for your laundry because the washer and dryers weren't working there, so you had to do your own laundry, and they would combine the loads of laundry, and nickel poker night was right around. So just a lot of fun. That one smoked down the line, and it's going to drop in for a base hit. That'll get gathered back in. Throwing behind the runner, had a good idea at it, but yeah, it was great to see Tim down here too. Tim has done such wonderful things with this All-Star game, and the Louisiana Baseball Coaches Association as its executive director.
Tim's got a great situation, and he his wife has a great job, and he's been able to spend a lot of time that a lot of guys didn't have to, because he hadn't been the total breadwinner of a family. So a lot of guys would take that for granted, but not him. He has been involved in some sort of this coaching. He just finished up a year down at the charter school.
That's right.
Just told me he fired himself the other day because literally that was his quote. So, but he has never balked on anything to try to promote this. And when he told me he had y'all involved, I was like, well, that's a big deal there. I mean, because this thing's never been, he got Coach O. I called him one day. I said, who's going to do your pictures? And he said, oh, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. I said, I got a guy.
One of the best, too.
Exactly.
One of the best.
So we've kind of got to know each other the last few years through the Dome, and he's an ex-coach, so we kind of hit it off just right. So I said, this thing is ready to hit the next level here with, we got real good video going. We got, pictures, and this thing can just keep building and hopefully for the next, 45 years. We
were able to be down there in, gosh, I don't know if it was February maybe or March, or February, I guess, when the Baseball Coaches Association clinic was down in Lafayette. We went down, and that one lifted sky high. Goodness, now it's going to stay over here where we're at, coming up and making that one. There's going to be a play at the plate, not in time. Boy, that's just tremendous job of coming in and making that catch here.
He ran from his spot way past us up the baseline here, and actually threw the ball on the line. Catcher just didn't quite field it perfectly, and
the guy coming in from third almost slid too early because he almost ran out of
just a
great play to get to the plate there.
Yeah, great play.
Well, we're certainly delighted to be a part of it. We donate our services to the LBCA just because it's important that people see these guys and they have a little bit of a memory left with them. And so, we love to do it. Texas Roadhouse comes in, and they're selling their pulled pork sliders. All of that money is going back into the program. They don't keep any of it.
I had one. They were really good.
So RBI going to have a couple of runs coming in here in the bottom of the 8th. The East is starting to open things up. And goodness, it's 5-2 in this one. Good piece of hitting.
Just kind of finding the hole, just getting it quite deep enough, getting it right on the line. But that's baseball. That's what we've watched all year long. I've just seen some really good teams squeak out some things where, a couple of inches have really made the difference.
So we're here in the bottom of the 8th, and you're wondering, well, they scored the runs. Why are they keeping going in the bottom of the inning? Because in this All-Star game, they play 9. They play 9 innings both days. And we saw in softball where they played the top and the bottom. Even if the home team was winning, they went ahead and played. I don't know that they'll do that tonight because 9 innings is a lot of work, especially when you're short-staffed from the bump.
You set that thing up, for pitchers and for half your roster to get 5 innings and then half to get 4. But if, like you say, if you get into the pitching scenario where arms are short, it's all really easy to make it up. Let somebody play an extra inning in the second game tomorrow.
That's right.
To keep it safe.
Expect you'll see Buckeyes Adam Broadnex tomorrow, ULM signee.
Have not seen him live, but he come by us early. He's a good-looking kid.
He brings it. You can,
there he is right there in the cage.
You can hear his fastball. Is he down?
Yeah, he's in the cage.
Yep. Look, he throws the ball with authority. We would try to swing around. Chuck, don't switch to us yet. I'm going to try to look and get a look at our hometown folks. There you go. They'll see Adam Broadnex. Big time Adam Broadnex. They call him on the Buckeye broadcast. Buckeye part of 446 Sports, and we certainly have seen a lot of tape on Broadnex as you see him getting loose. And did you hear the fastball?
You can hear the pop of the mitt. That's correct.
That one is around and away again. Chuck had it on the screen for you, so that's good. The East opening this thing up. 2 runs, that's the first error of the game for the West. 2 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the West. 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the East.
Got the lead runner, though, so.
Yeah, they were trying for a double there.
Just trying to turn a double play.
Yeah,
good,
then
good
if that's
play.
the case, they got to erase the error because you can't assume the double play.
Not at this level, for sure.
You're right.
for this bunch.
Yeah, you can hear the pop of the fastball
it's
coming.
Different. Yeah, it's really different.
Low 90s from Broadnex, and so ULM, and that's what we had talked about. They're recruiting well. Broadnex on his way up to Monroe.
Did he pitch in the game they lost in the playoffs?
He pitched in, that's another base hit. So That's the one they were leading in game 1 of that one, and they bring him in the top of the 7th to try to shut it down. A couple of dinks and a dunk, and they end up winning. He starts the second game, and I don't know that the mindset was right there, and takes a loss in that one.
That's tough.
Yeah, it was tough because you have such a young man that has been so dominant and so solid. And look, the game of baseball is tough.
And when you get down at Sulphur, you know, it's different. I mean, people says it, you know, that it's not. And when you get down in these semifinals and stuff like that, it pressures a lot. You just don't know what 17, 18-year-old kids,
and their kids, that's right.
And no matter how many games they've pitched in, man, one bad phone call from a girlfriend can destroy a team. I've had so many of them over the years. I mean, you'd think it was the worst thing in the world. I'm like, dude, it's just your girl. It'll be all right, you know. And it happens. So, you know, not to say that's the case, but you just don't ever know what's going through the mind of a kid.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
That's why you measure them over the long haul. You know, you got to measure kids, you know, long haul.
And that's why you see most of these guys are signing their junior year and committing, because the recruiting, for the most part, is done by that senior year. There's not a lot that's going on at that point. You'll pick up the occasional showcase invite or what have you, but generally it's done by then. But Broadnax is going to be one of the good ones. Swings the bat really well as well. I don't know if he'll hit up there or not if they're recruiting him as a PO, but he's going to be one of the good ones.
This batter's doing a good job up there, too, helping the third base runner hold off, you know, throwing that hand up. Just good mechanics.
Rocks back and delivers this one. And, well, we've not done a great job of play-by-play. There he is making another one right in front. He's like, I got this.
Yeah, that wind was cutting up on that play. He's made some really good plays out here in right field. Yeah, guys, I have enjoyed it. I really have. Good to see y'all.
Yes,
it's good to meet y'all. It's always I've watched y'all's productions for.
Thank you.
You know, back in football when we didn't play, Oak Grove would play on Thursday or whatever. I tuned in to y'all, and I told my wife, I was like, look, our kid's done this time. I was like, I may never leave the house again. I got the iPad. You know, you can watch so much on social media, and people do such a good job, and y'all are at the top of the list. So, like I say, I may be sitting in the living room watching y'all all year.
Well, we'll certainly give a big shout out. But from Louisiana High School Sports, 14&0productions.com. Go out there and check it out. Ray Butler does a tremendous job, Ray. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you reaching out to us on Twitter and coming in to see us, and really enjoyed you being here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes,
see y'all soon.
Yep. And Broadnax gets going on the hill. You see him coming in to shut the door. He is in a save situation here for the East. 5-2, they lead it. I don't know if we have time for. We got time for a Firehouse sub break. Let's take that, and we'll be right back.
Firehouse Subs just partnered with Hot Ones to create 2 new hook and ladder subs.
One with pickles marinated in Last Dab Reaper sauce to test yourself.
And a milder one with crispy garlic chips if tests aren't really your thing.
Find out how hot you like it for a limited time at Firehouse Subs.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
Brent Beto out of Turlings Catholic will get things started here in the top of the 9th inning. Adam Broadnax, they call him big time Adam Broadnax there. He's headed to ULM, got a low to mid 90s fastball, 92, 93, and that one is ground off to the right over the shortstop's head and is going to be in left field for a leadoff base hit here. That is the 9th hit. And boy, so Tim O'Neill walks up and everything's rolling right along. He says tomorrow's probably going to be 11-10 game. It always is on Saturdays. We ran him out.
Yes.
Look, you got to go.
Yes. Yeah, 3 up, 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. Let's have a 1-0 game.
Look, I don't mind a pitcher's duel, but you heard the situation. A lot of the pitching is thin out here. You know, if Broadnax gets out of this inning pretty quick, expect him to see some time tomorrow as well.
You got to protect those arms.
And look, there's college coaches everywhere that are saying, look, why don't he not go tomorrow? Swung on and missed. Boy, they are geared up on that fastball of Broadnax's. Now, we've seen him mix it up times. Good changeup. He's got a good curveball.
Yeah.
The lead off opposite field base hit over the shortstop. Swung through that one, and that's a good look at it, and nothing in 2 quickly. 2 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the West. 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the East. That 3-run bottom of the 8th did it. Don't know if they'll play the bottom of the 9th in this one. They probably, I don't know if they will. The Lightning, the time, the pitchers, that one bounces around, and that's another bad luck base hit as well. They're thinking about, they'll stay at 3rd. And so quickly you got runners at 1st and 3rd with nobody out to start things off here in the top of the 9th.
You find them themselves down 2-5, so
5-2 here in this one. The East leads it. That was a behind-the-scenes correction for Chuck there.
And I did it actually purposefully, but yes, you're correct.
It's a work in progress, that's all. That's why you don't let me fly the drone either, though, because it would end up upside down in a tree.
Somewhere.
Like, let me just, I said, it's in the case. Let me just hold the remote. No, still not.
He was right there by the remote, and somebody threw a baseball, hit it, knocked it off.
Let me tell you, I'm glad there wasn't a camera up in here at that point because I fell back in it.
Wow.
Broadnax rocks back and fires this one out of the zone. 2 balls and no strikes here. That first base hit off the fastball. And then an error right behind it. And
you play these all-stars, they're coming from all these different programs. You know, they're not.
That one drops in, and that's going to get the runner. They do throw through, and that's going to get the run across. Got to play at the plate. Ball bounces away, and he's safe. And so that will send the runner over to 3rd as well. He's going to be out at 3rd. Yeah, he's done there. So they, in a weird way, trade an out for a run, 5-3 in this one, but just not the most. And you don't have time to work on that play. So the catcher throws through, close. The runner from 3rd's going home, and ends up ball getting away. 3-0 fastball is hit there. Thought he might have hit the catcher's glove on that.
Yeah.
But that is 2 outs.
But on that play before, good job by the catcher. And even though the ball dropped out, I mean, that was his mistake. But to get it back up and go back down to 3rd to get the player there.
And now Broadnax is 1 away from getting out of this here.
Yeah. Saving that arm.
And an opportunity for a save in this one.
Got to believe, you know, on the next up, if they're leading 5-3, they'll just get up there and swing away at it without trying to chess game anything together. So.
This is Hornbeck's Parker Alexander. Hornbeck, of course, yet to sign, but Alexander yet to sign. Hornbeck is signed with Hornbeck, I guess. Alexander signed there. Big shout out to Butler that joined us here in this one for a couple of innings, and we certainly appreciate that. Robert Anderson was in town, and he visited with us, and so it was great to see he and Landon here. That's part of our Menard Eagle football crew that Chuck will be a part of this upcoming season. So, man, big things happening for 446 Sports, and we're glad that you are a part of it. Swung on and missed, and down on strikes, and that will retire the side Broadnack shakes off a little bit of it, and that's going to be a save for Adam. And yeah, it looks like they're going to play the bottom of the ninth just to play all of the innings, and why not? Now, tomorrow they will flip-flop things, and Chuck, you will be right on. The East will be the visitor. West will be home tomorrow evening in that one.
Yeah, I just had it backwards today. I just thought that's the way it was going to fall out, but for whatever reason, I wrote it wrong.
Yeah, they flipped for it.
Well, and what happened was from the softball to the baseball, their colors changed.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, the West was blue and softball, and the East was red. Now, and baseball is just the opposite. I mean, which is fine, you know, give equal representation to East and West for blue and red.
I think we had two, the way it worked out. I've got the red shirt and blue shoes, and you got red shoes and a blue shirt.
Tomorrow I will have my red shirt and blue shoes, so
well,
just to let you know.
All I have is blue shoes, so tomorrow I'm going to have a blue shirt and blue shoes. Not that any of that has any importance with whatsoever. However,
Are
now
they
you know.
suede? You have any blue suede shoes?
I don't. I have these.
Okay.
I have these. I got years ago from here at LC. So when their shoe order came in, it was 100 pair of 9.5 shoes, blue, and guess what size shoe? 9.5. So there you go.
If it didn't, you can always stick Walmart bags in the end of them.
I'm telling you, this is years of having these, and my wife gives me grief about these blue shoes all the time, and I told her, I said, don't step on them, whatever you do.
Don't step on my blue suede shoes.
Oh gosh, it's been a long 9 innings, been a long day. Spent some time up in Monroe this morning, down in Lafayette, or Scott yesterday. Don't confuse it. Uncle T's Oyster Bar. If you've not been there in downtown Scott, Louisiana, Uncle T's Oyster Bar. You better get in there at 11 o'clock if you want a table.
Whenever you want to
Friday,
take me, that's
you
fine.
can give up. But you better, if you're having lunch in there, you better get there at 11 o'clock. I saw this adult beverage that was there, let's just say, a Bloody Mary, perhaps, had the jalapeno olive, had the okra, and it had a shrimp on top of it. So, yeah, it was, Uncle T's Oyster Bar in Scott, Louisiana.
I learned something today about shrimp, as a matter of fact. I did not know they were called this, but they're
called shrimp, yeah.
But they call them the cockroaches of the ocean.
Nobody here does.
That's what I have heard. I just heard that today, and I was like, well, they are bottom dwellers, so.
Nobody in the South calls them that. That's somebody else doing that.
But they definitely eat good, that's for sure.
Yeah. So if you get a chance and you're in Scott, Louisiana, they got an antique place right across the railroad tracks from it. But you go into Uncle T's Oyster Bar and you tell them that 446 Sports sent you.
Well, how many times will we visit it this summer?
I can confirm, and we will be there. There's no research. In the name of research,
there we go.
Is what it is as we make our move. Perhaps you've got somewhere that you know that we should go and try out. Holler at us and let us know that is.
Doing a lot of research down there.
A lot of research. We'll make our trip down to College Saloon starting August the 19th. Turling's Catholic will come in there. The first team that is going to be there week 1. Turling's Catholic and new head coach Corville will be there in front of their week 1 opponent Opelousas, who also has a new first-year coach, Harry Coleman from Peabody. If you'll remember, Harry Coleman for LSU and NFL time, and was with Peabody and is now down, and he took Coach Zachary's place, who moved on and out of Opelousas off of a state championship a year ago win. And now it's up to, well, you go to Opelousas, though. Mama's Fried Chicken. I know everything that we talk about comes as a result of food, but bear with us when it comes to that.
Yes, it's research.
Research.
It's all in the name of research.
It is. One down here in this one.
One on, too.
A little after 9 o'clock on this, I don't know, Friday night, I guess. Yes, Friday night. That one launched way back.
Gonna
stay in. No, it stays in, but goodness gracious.
I just said it went over his head. So.
Yeah, sure did. But again, it's difficult to get out here, and the wind is blowing in. What a big double. And look, this is all just extracurricular because the game is in hand at 5-3. We're bottom of the 9th. But Jeff, you're watching and you say, hey, look, here's the spot that you need to look at and try. Then just leave that down there. Make sure before you get out of here, you hit the follow on our Facebook page and subscribe if you're watching over at YouTube and Twitter. I don't know what you do at X. I guess you still follow or like or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, something there.
I don't know. Anyway, it's been a great night. We've had a lot of good folks that have come by. We'll talk to Coach Mike Burns tomorrow.
That's awesome.
During that game. We'll visit with the head coach. Been here for a number of years.
Quite a few have passed. You're right.
Coached his 1,000th game last season. Had his 500th victory the year before that when it took his team to the playoffs. And man, they get knocked out by a undefeated 58-0 LSU Shreveport team. The Pilots are really dominant. Started the World Series today. Good looking pitch from Sanders of the Apaches of Glenbrook.
Just out of the strike zone there for ball 2.
2 balls, 1 strike, 1 down. Bottom of the 9th we play. Just going through the motions of this one, but the hitters aren't and the pitchers aren't. They're getting last little bit of work, and that's why they play the full 9 innings in it. You want to get everybody's opportunities to do this, and well, they're fighting that lightning, and that's something that we thought we were going to leave a couple of things, but I think we're going to put it all up and get out of this potential for rain. Ground ball over to third, chases the third base coach out of the way.
Interesting how you're eager to leave my stuff.
No, I have stuff here. I have 2 stuffs.
I'm just messing with you. We've already talked to the coach. He's already, he's very grateful for us to be out here and accommodating for us to put stuff away.
That one lifted, got a shot at that pole over there.
Yeah, that's not coming
around. It is out of there, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it's the strangeness of the weather. You've got to love Central Louisiana's weather changes. Louisiana, period.
Louisiana, period.
Weather changes. There's a shot there. You batter.
Swing on a miss. Look, the batters are going to quit. They're going to look down here and go, oh, no. That's 2 times that we focused on a batter.
Yeah.
And he is struck out, so 2 down here, but not possible this time on this pitch.
Send our feed to their little board up there above their scoreboard.
That's right. That one fouled way out of play. And we got auto-focused there. So we'll get back over here. Get everybody ready to wrap this one up tonight. These 2 teams will go back at it tomorrow. 1 p.m. is the
go time, huh?
First pitch. We'll go on the air around 12:45.
Or 12:46.
12:46, one of the 2. And it's been a lot of fun being out here with you tonight. You see the big LC logo on your screen. Kudos and thank you to the new president and the athletic director and head coach and all of the administration that welcomes this game in each and every year.
Yeah, great opportunity to recruit some kids, get a look at them, make them feel welcome on your campus.
3 balls and 1 strike. Sanders will rock back and deliver this one low, and that's going to be ball 4.
It's going to load them up. Wind's picked up.
It has blowing in from center field. We had the camera on the flag, and it was laying down on its side.
Yeah. It's Broadnack's in there, isn't it?
No.
Okay, first base person.
That should wrap things up. And it will. Tires aside, and that is the ball game. 5-3. The East wins this one, and that will do it. Guys, it's been a pleasure in this one. Again, they will get this going tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We'll go on the air around 12:45. I don't know if they're going to do an MVP like they have between the games. Doesn't look like they are, but yeah, they will come in and present, so we'll stay briefly with them. You see one of the best shooters in the business right there. Coach Tim O'Neill.
Take that music off just so we don't have any problems with our social media.
We will have been kicked off by now anyway.
Yeah.
We'll stay in for the trophy presentation of the MVPs.
I'll catch it from the home plate camera.
There you go. Then we'll get out of this one.
All-Star team. The most valuable player in tonight's game in the West All-Star team is Adam Gillett from Nashville, Tennessee, who will be attending the Louisiana Test in the fall. Congratulations, Adam. Valuable players from the East All-Star team. Mr. Gavin Tanks from Covington High School will be attending Southeastern Louisiana University in fall. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out to visit all this field tonight for a game one of our All-Star games. These are at 1 p.m. Let's give these All-Stars one more big round of applause for their efforts today.